going through and selecting only the ones who you can confidently rely on to vote Dem. One, yes, I mean, I'm sure there's an enormous number of legal challenges, and I'm sure he'll get sued. I would be relatively surprised, I think, if he were to get away with it, one. And two, again, it just shows how obviously in bad faith what he's doing is. Because if what he was really concerned about was restoring the rights to felons, there's been a lot of great work in Florida done pushing on that issue. There's a lot of ways to do that rather than handpick throughout the voting rolls people who you think are going to vote for your team.
So, Drew, have you war gamed this out in your head? How does America come back together after this? Because we're seeing what the left is doing to the voting rolls and to, mail out ballots and things like this in Florida. We're seeing it. We know that they are going to be litigating everything. They keep claiming that we're trying to throw the election and we're trying to cheat with, I guess, Russia again. I don't know what it is. But they won't believe a verdict of Trump as president. And I don't know, unless it's a blowout, I would believe that this was a fair election. How do we come together?
Yeah, I mean, my first thought, Glenn, is that I think what we need to do is have a really rock-solid Supreme Court with 9 justices that we can count on. Whatever happens from the election, we're going to need to have a Supreme Court that is able to legislate the outcomes, right? We've got 50 separate state-based elections, all of which could end up in the Supreme Court. So I think we need to have an institution that people can trust and rely on that has probably as many justices as usually sit on it to be able to make that decision. One. Two, I think what you're going to need to see, and on both sides, right? I don't think this is a uniquely Democrat problem, but what you're going to need to see is the more trusted, respected voices within the institution come back and say, okay, we have things, we have norms, we have institutions. You're going to need, if President Trump wins re-election, you're going to need Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to get up and say, we are accepting the results of this election. You see that? Concerns? No. I mean, I think the problem is I don't. I could see it from maybe Biden, probably Obama, but the idea of trusting someone like Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton, who haven't accepted the results of the 2016 election, to come out and say, yes, I trust that this was fair when we have so many more variables to play, I guess the short answer is
McDaniel. 47 FM. Go to newsradiori.com/rules.
News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM.
This is the Glenn Beck program. We've got a great hour for you next. We'll actually, I think, be able to understand what the hell people are thinking. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, you don't want to miss it.
This is this idea that you should try to get people fired up in your base to win the election. And Democrats are trying to do that because that's what everybody tries to do.